Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. It is Monday the 20th of January 2024 and I have to say that I'm nervous, very nervous. I'm starting my notes at 9:07 a.m. South African time and it was about 2:10 a.m. in Washington DC. So at the time of starting to make my notes, it was more or less 10 hours before the proceedings to inaugurate Donald Trump as President of the United States. And my stomach is literally turning. I predict that if this man is harmed in any way during his 4-year tenure, then there will be a civil war in America. Yet no matter what happens, today is a turning point, one way or the other for many countries. Things will change under Donald Trump, and not just for America, but for the rest of the world or for most other countries. And that, one way or the other, is a given. Anyway, today's video or videos may come in bits and pieces because of the inauguration and me watching the news every hour or so. So while there's still time, let's get on with our royal story. Okay, there's quite a buzz as a result of the Radar Online article titled "Prince Harry and Meghan Plunged into Surrogacy Scandal After Actress's Estranged Dad Casts Doubt on Birth of Their Son Archie." Coincidentally, I watched Dan Wootton and Lady C on the subject last night. Now let me rather keep my trap shut about that particular episode and concentrate on facts, or at least on facts as we know them. But before I do that, let me say this. The birth of Archie and Lily has nothing to do with Meghan's private medical records. So please, don't come at me in the comment section about, oh, it's all about Meghan's private medical records. It is not. As the 6th and 7th in line to the throne, it is our right to know the truth, the circumstances surrounding these children's birth. If Meghan faked being pregnant and really, honestly and truly wore a moon bump, which most of us think she did, then she possibly did not only lie on an epic scale, but also committed fraud, identity theft, and theft. So under the circumstances, it is indeed a huge deal. Now, to address the other thing people come up with, I've not heard of anyone, at least not in the Mexit community, being negative about surrogacy. Where surrogacy is indeed legal, it can be a huge blessing for a childless couple. Where the issue comes in is whether or not Meghan and Harry lied to the monarchy and the public, and in so doing committed fraud and impersonation. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to do a summary of everything I have done on this subject in the past, all the research, the letters, the email, telephone calls I made, etc. The reason why I can't do it today is because my daughter's going through my 1,100 plus videos to extract the one which were about the birth. So we need a bit more time, but in the meantime we have to get down to the nitty-gritty. During her pregnancy, we got the first hint when the bump grew at a rapid rate. When they were in Australia, October 2018, Meghan's bump already varied in size, but it was mostly small, and remember that by then she was supposedly just past the 15-week mark. So somewhere between 3 and 4 months. Yet in December 2018, she looked like she was going to pop or explode already. So in 2 months, she went from small, your typically 3 to 4 months, to ready to give birth to twins or triplets. I think that although the stories and speculation started even before December 2018, it was after she had this major inflation, expansion, explosion, or whatever you want to call it, that I think the rest of the people actually woke up. Suddenly, everyone was aware of square bumps and bumps sliding to the knees and differing significantly in size from one moment to the next. And then came the mysterious birth. But let's get back to the Radar Online article. Here's like the main thoughts from the article. They start off with Megan's very own father casting doubt on the birth of Archie. Further on in the article, it explains how he is aware of the fact that Megan collected her frozen eggs about approximately 9 months before Archie was born. Of course, it is everyone's opinion that the eggs were fertilized, likely with the gametes of Harry, and that it was implanted into a surrogate. However, because it was such a huge secret, that one single piece of elusive proof has been hidden from us, hidden so well that it just could not be found. Or has it? Anyway, more about that later. In the Radar Online article, they mention Archie being born in the Portland hospital. Well, you see, there is one of my biggest stumbling blocks to date, and I mean the child's already 5, nearly 6 years old. There is not a zilch proof that Meghan Markle gave birth at the Portland hospital. In Harry's book, his entire birth story sounds unrealistic. According to Harry, Meghan received not 1 but 2 epidurals. Yet in his own words, quoted directly from page 365 of my book, within 2 hours of our son being born, we were back at Frogmore. The sun had risen, and we were behind closed doors when the official announcement was released, saying that Meghan had gone into labor. Anyway, what we need to consider and take away from this is that this cannot possibly be true. The Portland is 23,2 miles, about 37,33 kilometers away from Frogmore, or then about 1 hour 35 minutes drive. Well, my dearies, I have not yet heard of anyone who subtracted 1 hour and 35 minutes from the 2 hours Harry was talking about. Well, if you do it, it means Meghan was released 25 minutes after Archie was born. 25 minutes after 2 epidurals. I can tell you in all honesty, and I'm not even a doctor, that is not happening. The only way Meghan and Harry could have left so quickly is if she did not give birth to the child. If the hospital released her that soon, they were extremely negligent. And I mean extremely negligent with a royal. Before a woman can even think of going home, she must have passed urine, and the feeling and movement in her legs have to be back to normal, according to 2 different websites, including that of the NHS, The soonest the woman can be released after an epidural would be about 6 hours. 25 minutes? No way. Even just checking out the baby, getting him cleaned and dressed and out of the door into a vehicle will take longer than 25 minutes. And then a minimum of 1.5 hours drive back to Frogmore. Harry can try again, but that is a lie. Right there on paper, in black and white, in his book, a big fat lie. What is not in Harry's book, which Radar Online can indeed go and investigate, are the following. Archie will be 6 this year, and we still do not know who the doctor was who delivered him, witnessed his birth, and signed off on him being healthy enough to go home. What we do know is it was not Dr. Penelope Law, as we were first told, and it was not Dr. Gary Motha who replaced Dr. Law in the narrative. Dr. Motha does not and did not, at the time of Archie's birth, have any, not even teaching privileges at the Portland Hospital. If you don't believe me, do what I did and phone the Portland. So, who delivered the baby? Was it a midwife? Why was there no midwife signed in at approximately 5 a.m. on the 6th of May 2019? If Megan had an epidural, there had to have been an anesthesiologist. Now, who was he or she? Harry also seems confused. Likely he tried to reply or answer back to all the backlash, because he actually states they had an Ayurvedic, I don't know how to pronounce it, Ayurvedic doctor. Now that is basically just an holistic doctor, but a holistic doctor would not recommend or prescribe laughing gas for pain, nor would he or she recommend an epidural. I mean, maybe as a last resort, but not that quickly. There are various herbs and other treatments that an holistic doctor would try before prescribing an epidural. Another important thing is that if you are taking herbs, etc., as supplements, it is recommended that you stop taking it about 2 weeks before the birth, as some of it will not be recommended during or before any possible anesthetic, including an epidural. So, no wonder we are all doubting the birth stories. Nothing about it sounds right. Quite frankly, it sounds like a made-up story out of a fantasy novel. Or it sounds like they took all the worst and all the most dramatic from other birth stories and put it into one story. Radar Online also mentions that the palace announced that Meghan was in labor 7 hours after Archie was born. Why? How did that happen? Did it take Harry that long to inform the Queen? Why? Why did that happen? Out of spite? People like myself, Yankee Wally, Murky Meg, Celt Views, now Celt News, and Ashley started questioning the pregnancy way before Archie was even born. But no one would listen. Eventually, Taz and then Paula M and then P. Dina joined the group, and now there are many like Royal Grift, Sidley Twins, and many others. Of course, what I am saying in this video is not even half of the story, but I am going to post links to my older videos in my description box, and you can go scan through the information in those videos and take from it as much as you like. On my website are also copies of letters written to the Queen at Buckingham Palace and to Kensington Palace. And okay, before you complain or you get upset, I edited them a little before I send them off. So no point in pointing out typos. No, okay, I mean, we're talking about years ago. I sent a photograph of supposed Archie and Harry taken for Father's Day to Kensington Palace after I had an analysis done on it. And I got a reply saying that it was a generic picture. Well, what more can I say? The point is that both the King and Prince William's officers were fully aware that we had reservations about Archie and later Lily's birth. It is now nearly 6 years and 3 years later, and the palace has done nothing. It is 100% correct that the palace is now being pressured to remove the children from the line of succession until such time as the proof of birth from the body of Meghan Markle has been submitted. I mean, people, it is only fair. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. And all other royal children had to provide proof of life, proof of birth, etc. Okay, guys, I have to go. It's time for the news, so I'll be back as soon as possible. Please take care of yourselves and stay safe. Bye.